Mr. Mukesh Ambani is absolutely furious. You might see a smile on his face, but this actually is not a smile, it is a sarcastic smile. It is not a normal smile, it is a sarcastic smile. Please observe his facial expressions now. Mr. Mukesh Ambani is furious. He wants to be out of this mess because Mukesh Ambani is saying, listen, Government of India, listen, Income Tax Department, I don't have time to collect taxes of my employees and deposit it to you. I don't have such time, guys. I am into my business. Whether should I do my own business and pay my own taxes, or should I compute taxes of my employees and pay it to you just because you don't want to collect it? I am out of it. I don't want to do it. No. Reliance Industries Limited MD is absolutely furious, is absolutely angry. His face has turned red. His face has turned red. He is absolutely furious. Reliance Industries MD is not accepting this notion, is not accepting this thought of the Income Tax Department. Vadakkam, Namaskara and Namaskaram, and welcome to this session of the direct taxation. And yes, guys, we have covered a lot of chapters of our syllabus, and now we are nearing to ending stage of our syllabus of direct taxation. So yes, the topic which we are going to start today is a very, very important topic, and it is a concept which is actually very prevalent in the Western world, the Western countries, and this concept actually was borrowed from the Western countries and the Western world, and this concept was not there in the Indian Income Tax Act earlier, but subsequently it entered into the Indian Income Tax Act 1961 in a very, very large, in a very, very huge manner, in a very, very detailed manner. So this concept, name of this concept is TDS, tax deducted at source. In Western world, it is also known as withholding tax. What is it known as? Withholding tax. But from an Indian context, from an Indian perspective, you should always remember name of this particular chapter as TDS, tax deducted at source. Sir, what do you mean by TDS? So we have already studied taxation, like, sir, if we are earning salary income, we have the slab rates according to which tax is calculated. We pay it to Government of India. If we have PGBP income, then we have the fixed tax rates according to which our net profit is taxed, and so that tax is paid to Government of India. So if we have house property income, we have seen rules and we have seen the rates according to which house property income is taxed, and the tax is paid to Government of India. So we have income from other sources. Casual income is there, where taxation is there at a fixed percentage, at a fixed tax rate. So we multiply the taxable income with the tax rate paid to Government of India. So the tax regime is very, very clear in front of us. It is clearly visible to our eyes. So what is this new tax regime? Tax deducted at source. Is it some new kind of tax, or is it some way of collecting tax? So guys, the answer is, this is not a new kind of tax. This is just a way of collecting tax. This is not a new kind of tax. This is a way of collecting tax. So in a way, if I were to describe TDS in simple words, TDS would mean, or I should write it over here. So TDS should mean mechanism or way, mechanism or way to collect tax. So TDS is not a new tax. It is not a new tax. It is not something new. It is a mechanism to collect tax. So guys, as you are aware, there are so many assessees in the country. We Indians are 130 crores in number. I know most of them might not be falling under the tax net and might not be filing their return of income, but even if 2% or 3% of them are filing the return of income, so yes, quite a large number of taxpayers are there in the country. Out of a population of 130 crores, let me show you some statistics of number of people who are filing return of income in India and those who are paying taxes in India. So this is a detail which is available. If you Google it, it will be available. The source of this particular detail is data which is derived from the Income Tax Department of the country. So guys, this data clearly shows that the approximate number of people who are filing return stands at 4.3 crores. 4.3 crores is the number of people who are filing return of income in India. And out of this 4.3 crores, approximately, this is the number, approximately 1.46 crore people are actually paying taxes. So the balanced number of people are actually filing the return but not paying taxes, but still they are filing the return of income, which means that they are below the slab rate, the income slab rate which is there. They are below the slab rate, and therefore they do not need to pay taxes, but still they are filing return of income. So guys, filing return of income is a separate thing and paying taxes is a different thing, right? So if we, I don't want to go into detail of this statistics, but the point that I'm driving over here is that even when the percentage of people who are paying taxes and filing return of income is super low in the country, super low, still bare minimum, the kind of analysis which is required behind these particular returns is a whopping number. So the government of India has to collect taxes for approximately 1.5 crore people. They have to collect taxes from 1.5 crore people. They have to assess, they have to really measure what is their income, taxable income, and they have to collect taxes from them. And the government of India also has to, oversee the number of people who are filing return, and they are claiming that they don't have any taxable income, right? This claim may be a false claim. The government has to check whether this claim is a valid claim or not. So that is also under question. Government of India wants to check this particular number as well, and that is the reason why Government of India needs to scrutinize these returns of income, which are close to 5 crore taxpayers, 5 crores ITRs filed in the country. Therefore, not only tax laws are required, not only strong loopholes, the amendments which curb the loopholes are required, not only relevant provisions related to taxing each and every income is required, not only clubbing and set off provisions are required, but even tax collection mechanism is required. An effective tax collection mechanism will ensure that the people who are required to pay taxes are paying taxes to the fullest extent and are paying taxes according to law which is there in the land. So, tax administration is a very, very different ballgame altogether. So yes, preparation of tax laws is definitely relevant. How do you prepare tax laws? What tax laws should be there, etc., etc. That is definitely very, very important. But equally important an aspect is that tax administration, tax collection mechanism should be very, very strong in the country, so that we ensure that people who are supposed to pay taxes, they pay taxes on time. And in this particular chapter, we are not going to refer to the income tax rates or taxable income, not taxable income, disallowances, allowances, deductions, not deductions. We are not going to see all of those stuff. What we are going to see is how effectively can we collect taxes from the taxpayers. How effective is our mechanism that can ensure a smooth recovery of taxes from our taxpayers? That is the objective of this particular chapter. So the name of the chapter is TDS, tax deducted at source. Alternate name is withholding tax, usually used in foreign countries. In their laws, it's known as withholding tax. But yes, in India also, it is this popular name is used, withholding tax, but we would generally refer this particular mechanism as TDS, tax deducted at source. And yes, no new taxing regime, no new taxing mechanism, no new calculation of taxable income, etc. This is just a mechanism how to collect taxes from the people of the country. And that is how this particular mechanism was evolved. The name of the mechanism is tax deducted at source. And yes, you can see face of one of the most powerful, one of the most successful, one of the most enterprising entrepreneur of the country, who is the CMD of Reliance Industries Limited, the legal heir of the Ambani families. Yes, Mukesh Bhai Ambani. Reliance Industries Limited, one of the biggest, largest corporate houses in the country, of course, has a huge lot of employees in its organization. And the approximate number of employees who are working in Reliance Industries Limited, according to data which is given in Google, approximately 2 lakh plus employees working with Reliance Industries Limited. 2 lakh plus employees working with Reliance Industries Limited at different posts, at various posts. But yes, the payroll count which I got through Google is approximately 2,36,000, which is a humongous number. So Reliance Industries Limited, the biggest corporate house, one of the biggest corporate houses of the country, chaired by the one and only Mr. Mukesh Ambani. And guys, this particular company holds a lot of 2 lakh employees in its kitty. 2 lakh employees. So imagine 2 lakh employees working with Reliance Industries Limited. The salary package might range from a humble 1 lakh rupees per annum. So there might be supervisors, there might be junior level staffs, clerks, guards or peons or some administrative staff who would be getting a salary of say 1 lakh rupees per annum or 1,20,000 rupees per annum. So starting from salary range of 1 lakh or 1,20,000 rupees per annum up to the range of 1 crore or even 2 crore rupees per annum, staff will be hired by Reliance Industries Limited. So yes, 2 lakh employees are not of same cadre, they are not of same level, they might vary in their range. So their ranges might start from 1 lakh rupees per annum salary package to 1 crore rupees per annum salary package, 2 crore rupees per annum salary package. So a variety of people would be there in this lot, which is 2 lakh employees, and this will be a humongous number. Guys, of course, the salary package of these 2 lakh plus employees would also be humongous. In case of the packages or the employee remuneration which is given by Reliance Industries Limited to its employees, let me create a profit and loss account. All right, this is the profit and loss account of say Reliance Industries Limited. This is the profit and loss account of say Reliance Industries Limited. So yes, I'll make a proper profit and loss account in front of you to demonstrate what happens to salaries of Reliance Industries Limited employees. Salary packages of Reliance Industries Limited. All right. So guys, this is a typical profit and loss account which Reliance Industries Limited would be making. I'm not bothered about the format which is used in the Schedule to Companies Act. I'm just harping upon the concept. So please ignore the format. All right. So guys, this is the section where I will write all the expenses. This is the section where I'll be writing all the incomes. That's the amount column and that's the amount column. Now suppose the total income of Reliance Industries Limited is Y lakh rupees. The total income of Reliance Industries Limited for a particular year is Y lakh rupees, right? Now, there will be several expenses which will be debited to the P&L account of Reliance Industries Limited. It will be expense 1, expense 2, expense 3, and there will be another expense called the employee salaries. There will be various expenses which are incurred by Reliance Industries Limited, including employees' salary. Now, all these expenses are deductible as per the Income Tax Act. That's what we are currently assuming for ease of our computation. Yes, sir. So, all these expenses are deductible expenses. And yes, after reducing all the expenses, we'll get net profit. We'll get net profit. So here the number will be net profit. And yes, as per the Income Tax Act, we'll be making some adjustments in the PGBP according to the PGBP laws, and I'll be paying taxes on this net profit. Suppose the employer's salary which the employee's salary which Reliance Industries Limited give is X lakh rupees. So Y lakh rupees is the income, X lakh rupees is the salaries which have been distributed amongst the employees of Reliance Industries Limited. I've already told you how many employees are there in Reliance Industries Limited. It's 2 lakh employees which are there in Reliance Industries Limited. Now, if I were to ask you, what is the salary package of these 2 lakh employees? What is the salary which is being distributed to these 2 lakh employees? You will tell me, sir, rupees X lakhs will be distributed amongst all these employees. The total of salaries which have been distributed amongst the 2 lakh employees of Reliance Industries Limited is X lakh rupees. Yes, sir. Now, guys, what will be the role of Government of India? Yes, Income Tax Department. What will be the role of Income Tax Department? Income Tax Department has to approach each and every employee of Reliance Industries Limited. All these employees of Reliance Industries Limited will be approached by the Income Tax Department, and Income Tax Department will ask each and every employee to A, file the return of income, and B, pay the taxes due to Government of India. This is the dual responsibility which Income Tax Department will have for these employees. So what will be the ask of Income Tax Department? Income Tax Department will approach these employees, and Income Tax Department will actually ask them to pay due taxes. So yes, they'll ask the 2 lakh employees to pay taxes on salaries worth X lakh rupees to Government of India. That will be the usual scenario. So X lakh rupees will be taxable. This will be taxable in hands of all the employees. Yes, barring the deductions and all. So this will be taxed as salaries in the hands of employees. This will be taxed as salaries in the hands of employees. So X lakh rupees is taxed as salaries in the hands of the employees, of course, individual employees. So, out of these 2 lakh employees, each one will be approached and each one will disclose its salary package which Reliance Industries Limited is giving to that particular person, and this will be taxable as salaries in hands of the employees. Now, this salary becomes an income. This salary becomes an income for the employees. This salary is an income for the employees. But guys, this salary is an expense. This salary is an expense for Reliance Industries Limited. This salary is an expense for Reliance Industries Limited. This salary is income for employees of Reliance Industries Limited, but this salary is an expense for Reliance Industries Limited, which he is going to pay, which he is going to deduct from his PGBP income. So guys, PGBP income of Reliance Industries Limited will be this amount. Suppose this amount is Z lakh rupees. The PGBP income of Reliance Industries Limited is Z lakh rupees, and out of this Reliance Industries Limited is going to claim a deduction, which means reduction of net profit. From net profit, the reduction will be of X lakh rupees. And yes, employee salary is a valid deduction as far as PGBP chapter is concerned. We have already covered PGBP chapter. We have already seen that salary expenses paid to employees, is an eligible deduction, is a deduction which is eligible for the company which is paying the salary. And same deduction, since it is available as a deduction for Reliance Industries Limited, it will be taxable in hands of the employees. It will be taxable in hands of the employees. This is the two-way process or the correlation between expense on one hand and income on the other. So this is income in hands of the employees, income chargeable under the head salaries. However, same salaries is an expense for Reliance Industries Limited, and Reliance Industries Limited is going to claim a deduction for this expense. So we understood the transaction, we understood the debit and credit side of it, and what will be the impact we have understood. Right guys, now let us move on. Income Tax Department has a humongous task, a Herculean task of approaching each and every employee and asking him to pay the due taxes to Government of India. Each and every employee means 2 lakh employees will have to be approached by the Income Tax Department to pay the relevant taxes. Guys, There might be a situation when some of these employees, out of the 2 lakh employees, some of the employees who are taxable, who are earning taxable income, who are earning taxable salaries, they do not file their return of income out of a malified intention of evading tax. Suppose they want to evade tax. They don't want to file their return of income. They don't want to pay taxes. So they might want to evade taxes by not filing the return of income. Income tax department has to take special measure of those employees as well. Now this is a humongous task, because Reliance Industries Limited is just an example of a company. Just like Reliance Industries Limited, there are thousands and thousands of companies in the country. And all those thousands and thousands of countries might not have such huge pool of human resource, but at least they would have some human resources which are working in their companies. And income tax department trying to approach each one of them is a humongous task. So what has income tax department done? Income tax department has taken a shortcut. So what is that shortcut? So we always hear that there's no shortcut to success. So do you think that income tax department taking a shortcut will give them success? Guys, in administrative manner, in procedural manner, shortcuts always reduce your burden. So to reduce this burden of approaching each and every employee of Reliance Industries Limited, what did Income Tax Act do? Income Tax Act approached Mr. Mukesh Bhai Ambani. Yes, Income Tax Act approached Mr. Mukesh Ambani, and they requested Mr. Mukesh Ambani, hello Mr. Mukesh Ambani. Mukesh Ambani said hi. Look, he's smiling pleasantly. Dear Mr. Mukesh Ambani, please help me in recovering taxes. Mukesh Ambani says, oh, at your service anytime. I am earning an income of Z lakh rupees. I will multiply it with the tax rate and I will pay you the taxes immediately. No problem. I will always help the Indian government to pay taxes. My taxes will never be outstanding. I will always pay taxes. See, Mr. Mukesh Ambani is smiling and he is willing to cooperate with the income tax department, and he is saying, I have earned an income of Z lakh rupees. I will multiply it with the relevant tax rate. I will pay the taxes to Government of India immediately. Don't worry, Madam Nirmala Sitharaman, the finance minister, don't worry madam, I will definitely assist you in paying the taxes on time, paying the taxes regularly, don't worry about that. Now what did Income Tax Department say? Income Tax Department said, Mr. Mukesh Ambani, well, we appreciate your cooperation, but this time we wanted a help from you. We didn't mean to collect taxes from your income. We don't want help for collecting taxes from your income, because we are pretty confident that you will definitely pay taxes from your income. We are pretty confident about that. Then Mukesh Ambani said, then what help do you need? Income Tax Department said, we need help in collecting taxes from 2 lakh employees who are working in your organization. So now the smile of Mr. Mukesh Ambani faded away a little bit. He was not as smiley as he was earlier, because he thought that some extra burden is coming on him. Mr. Mukesh Ambani said to Income Tax Department, what do you expect from me? What do you expect from me? So Income Tax Department said that, Mr. Mukesh Ambani, your income is of course chargeable to tax. You pay taxes on it. We are not concerned about your income as of now. But Mr. Mukesh Ambani, please do us one favor. Mukesh Ambani said, yes, tell me, what favor do you want? Mukesh Ambani said, the Income Tax Department said, please make a list of your 2 lakh employees. Mr. Mukesh Ambani said, I already have the list. The list is with my HR department. No problems. I have the list. Okay. Income Tax Department said, please make a list of these 2 lakh employees. And against the names of these employees, plot the salary numbers of each employees. So I'll make that sheet for you guys. I'll make that sheet for you. All right. So the sheet will look like this. Name of the employee. Sheet will look like this, right? Name of the employee. Then salary of employee. Second column will be salary of employee. Well, Mr. Mukesh Ambani said, we already have these details. Whenever you want these details, you can take it from me. That's not a problem. It's okay. No, but listen to me. What Income Tax Department is saying further. Income Tax Department is saying, you put the name of the employees, you put their salaries, and in the next column, you put a column as tax. Mr. Mukesh Ambani said, what do you mean by tax? So income tax department told Mr. Mukesh Ambani, tax means whatever salary is there for a particular person, you please calculate the tax as per the relevant slab rates. As per the relevant slab rates, please calculate the tax and write the amount of tax in the third column. So Mr. Mukesh Ambani said yes. So their taxable salary, their taxable slab rates will be as per the salary chapter, right? Yes, it will be as per the salary chapter. So you calculate the tax and write it over here. So I'm giving you an example, guys. So the name of a particular employee is Mr. Ram. Mr. Ram is the employee of Reliance Industries Limited. Salary of Mr. Ram is say 7 lakh rupees. So dear Mukesh Ambani, please write the salary of the employee like this. Mr. Mukesh Ambani said yes, okay, I'm writing the salary as 7 lakh rupees. That's perfect. Now income tax department is asking Mr. Mukesh Ambani to calculate tax. Suppose, assuming, right, I'm just taking a hypothetical figure. The tax comes out to, suppose the tax comes out to 31,000 rupees. Just an example, guys. I have not computed the slab rates. I have not computed tax as per the slab rates, right? Just an example. Suppose the tax is distributed, the tax is calculated as 31,000 rupees. Income tax department said, yes, this is the tax rate. Now income tax department is asking Mr. Reliance Ambani to prepare such a detail for all the 2 lakh employees of the company. Mr. Mukesh Ambani said, yes, it is an easy task. We just have to put a formula over here for computation of tax, and that is how we will compute the tax. It's an easy task. My HR department will do about it. No worries in that. But the next ask is, the next requirement is, Finance Act or the Income Tax Department is saying, please pay salary to the employees after withholding the tax. So the payment which is to be made to the employee is not 7 lakh. It is 6,69,000. Whatever you pay to the employee, it should not be the salary. It should be the salary minus the tax, and the net payable should be 6,69,000. Now, Mukesh Ambani is a little disturbed, because Mukesh Ambani is saying that, sir, why would an employee whose salary is 7 lakh ready to accept 6,69,000 from me? Why would he be ready? So income tax department said he would be ready because his taxes which that particular employee was due to pay me would have been now paid by you. So it's one and the same thing. To give you an example, suppose this particular person Ram would have paid his salary to income tax department and taxes on income tax department. So 7 lakh rupees is the salary of Mr. Ram, right? Mr. Ram would have calculated the tax which would have been calculated at 31,000. Same tax slab rate would be applicable. 31,000 would have been the tax of Mr. Ram, right? Mr. Ram would have paid this 31,000 from his pocket to Government of India, right? So the net which would have remained in hands of Mr. Ram, it would any case would have been 6,69,000 only. Now when you will give 6,69,000 rupees to Mr. Ram, I, means income tax department, will not charge any taxes from Mr. Ram. So Mr. Ram will get a salary of 6,69,000 from Reliance Industries Limited directly. One and the same thing. Either Mr. Ram has to pay these taxes by himself. This is by himself. If he himself pays taxes, he will be at the same situation. Now, when he is not paying the taxes and Reliance Industries Limited is paying the taxes on behalf of Mr. Ram, then the same thing, because Ram doesn't have to pay any taxes, because Reliance Industries Limited have already paid taxes on Ram's behalf to Government of India. Ram is neutral. Ram is saying, doesn't matter to me. Rather, Ram is happy. Why Ram is happy? Ram is happy because I need not pay taxes to Government of India. I need not go to website of Government of India, pay taxes, and if any the transaction is failed, then it routes back, etc. I don't want to give that headache. I don't want to take that headache. It's perfect that Reliance Industries Limited is directly deducting taxes from me and paying to Government of India himself. So what will Reliance Industries Limited do? Reliance Industries Limited will total out all the taxes will total out all the taxes of 2 lakh employees who are working under the realms of Reliance Industries Limited, and whatever this amount be, this will be paid to Government of India. This will be paid to Government of India on behalf of the employees of Reliance Industries Limited. So guys, Reliance Industries Limited will prepare such a sheet, and such sheet will be deposited along with the tax, will be deposited to Government of India in addition to the taxes which Reliance Industries Limited has to pay on its own income. In addition to that, these taxes will also be paid. Now what has happened? What has happened here? The burden of collection of tax, which was earlier with the Income Tax Department, has now been shifted to Reliance Industries Limited. The burden of collection of tax, which was earlier with Income Tax Department, has now been shifted to Reliance Industries Limited. Now, guys, Mr. Mukesh Ambani is absolutely furious. You might see a smile on his face, but this actually is not a smile. It is a sarcastic smile. It is not a normal smile. It is a sarcastic smile. Please observe his facial expressions now. Mr. Mukesh Ambani is furious. He wants to be out of this mess, because Mukesh Ambani is saying, listen, Government of India, listen, Income Tax Department, I don't have time to collect taxes of my employees and deposit it to you. I don't have such time, guys. I am into my business. Whether I do my own business and pay my own taxes, or should I compute taxes of my employees and pay it to you just because you don't want to collect it? I am out of it. I don't want to do it. No. Reliance Industries Limited MD is absolutely furious, is absolutely angry. His face has turned red. His face has turned red. He is absolutely furious. Reliance Industries MD is not accepting this notion, is not accepting this thought of the Income Tax Department. And he's saying, dear Income Tax Department, please, I don't want to take this additional responsibilities. I have many responsibilities which are there in my organization. I have to run my organization. I cannot take such additional responsibility. Please, I don't want to favor you. Business is business. I am a businessman. I don't want to favor you. My employees are employees. Yes, I am paying humongous salaries to them, but it is your responsibility to collect taxes from them. You take that responsibility. I cannot deduct a TDS from their salary and pay the remaining amount to them. I will pay the full amount to them, 7 lakh rupees in their bank's account every year. I will not deduct any taxes from their payment. I will not deduct a TDS. No, tax deducted at source. I'm not doing withholding. I'm not doing. It's your responsibility. Please, you do it yourself. Do you think that Income Tax Department, after seeing this anguish of Reliance Industries Limited CMD, will fall calm, will be calm, and will accept his anger? Because to some extent his anger is also fair, guys, because there's a lot of work which goes into making a big company, and over and above it, compliance burden from the tax department is definitely an add-on burden, right? So compliance is a burden. So yes, Mr. Reliance CMD is definitely correct in this particular part, that yes, it will be an additional burden to them. But Income Tax Department is not giving them an option. They're not giving them an option. It will be a mandatory law for Reliance Industries Limited to follow. And not only Reliance Industries Limited, but the entire business community of the country. Whosoever is employing people under them are required to deduct taxes from their salaries, deposit to Government of India, and pay the net amount to the person, to their employees. This mechanism will have to mandatorily be followed by each and every businessman. Yes, you can be angry. Yes, you can curse the Income Tax Department, income tax laws of the country. You can say that this is too burdensome, etc., etc., etc. We are not bothered. So what if we don't do it? What if Reliance Industries Limited CMD doesn't do it? He's saying, no, I'm not doing it. It's your work. You do it. You better mind your own business. I am minding my business. I am not doing it. What if Reliance Industries Limited CMD doesn't do it? There is a penal provision for that. What is the penal provision? Penal provision is, if Reliance Industries Limited do not deduct TDS from their employees' salary and pay it to Government of India, if they do not do this, then their entire expense will be disallowed. this will be disallowed. This is the penalty, this is the punishment which Reliance Industries Limited will get if they do not deduct tax. Yes, as per section 36 and 37, this particular expense is an allowable expenditure. According to PGBP, deduction should be allowed from net profit for this expenditure. But if you do not deduct taxes while paying this expense to your employees, if you do not deduct taxes, then guys, this expense will be disallowed to you. It will not be allowed to you. Section, please tell me the section you've already done. PGBP. PGBP is finished now. Section is 40A. 40A, 40A IA, 40A I, 40A I, 40A IA. Two sections are there, resident, non-resident. So yes, Reliance Industries Limited CMD will be penalized if he doesn't do this particular favor to Government of India. If he doesn't deduct taxes at source, then the CMD of Reliance Industries Limited taxable income will be enhanced, will be increased to the extent of this particular employee's salary. This expense will be disallowed in the hands of Reliance Industries Limited. So now tell me whether Reliance Industries Limited will be agreeable to the proposal of the Income Tax Department, then they have to meet this additional compliance requirement or not. Yes, absolutely. This time, Reliance Industries Limited will not say a no. They will be ready to do this additional compliance on behalf of Income Tax Department, which definitely does not give any benefit to them, but this additional compliance will be done by Reliance Industries Limited. And yes, they will be ready to collect taxes on behalf of the Income Tax Department. So this is the collection mechanism which Income Tax Department has adopted to ensure that all the employees of Reliance Industries Limited are covered under, are paying taxes who are covered under the tax net. This is to make sure this particular fact. Plus, an additional thing is that the tax should be recovered to the correct amount of their salary, whatever is their salary, taxes should be collected to the best of that amount. So yes, this is the entire concept of TDS. This is the thought process behind TDS, and this is the entire concept of TDS. So sir, Reliance Industries Limited, apart from employee salary, would be paying many other expenses, say commission, say brokerage, say rent, this. So many other expenses will be there, which Reliance Industries Limited will be paying. So sir, should we apply the TDS provisions on all the expenses which is being incurred by Reliance Industries Limited? Should we do that? Looks tempting. Yes, we should do that. Yes, just like Reliance Industries Limited is paying taxes on behalf of the employees, Reliance Industries Limited should also be required to pay TDS for almost all the expenses. Yes, there are a few exceptions we'll be studying later on, but almost all the expenses which Reliance Industries Limited will incur, which will entail Reliance Industries Limited to make a payment to a vendor, to make a payment to a person who's giving services or any good or product to Reliance Industries Limited, and Reliance Industries Limited is making a payment to them. While paying the amount to them, Reliance Industries Limited need to withhold tax deducted at source and paid to Government of India. That is the whole objective of provisions of TDS. Okay sir, we got it. So I'll just explain one more thing with you and then we'll move on to our chapter. Okay sir. Next thing is, sir, what if instead of deducting, okay, the taxes which are deductible is 31,000, right? The taxes which are deductible is 31,000. Okay. Instead of deducting 31,000, what if Reliance Industries Limited deducted only 21,000? What if Reliance Industries Limited deducted only 21,000? By mistake or because of any reason, Reliance Industries Limited did not deduct the entire 31,000 from the salary of the employee. What will happen then? Then guys, naturally, the paid amount will be 21,000, and then the employee will be required to pay tax of the remaining 10,000 rupees. Then the burden will be shifted to employee, and employee should ensure that if the TDS is deducted at a lesser rate, then guys, the employee should make the remaining payment. And this particular calculation will be more relevant for the TDS which is deducted apart from salary. So apart from salary, all other incomes like brokerage, commission, rent, contractor payment, any other payment apart from salary is actually the TDS is deducted at a fixed rate, say 10%, 2%, 5%. So the remainder of the taxes are to be paid by the person who's receiving the income. The income taxpayer, the income recipient should pay the remaining taxes if the deductor is not paying total amount of taxes. If the deductor is not paying total amount of taxes, then the remainder amount should be paid by the taxpayer, by the person who's receiving this particular income. That is the law, and it will be relevant on the sections which are apart from salary. So salary, the TDS is deducted at the full tax rate, but apart from salary, all other heads are not deducting taxes on the amount of total amount of taxable income, but at a fixed percentage. So the remainder amount will be taxable in hands of the employees. The remainder amount is to be paid by the employees. So yes guys, this was the concept of TDS, tax deducted at source, or popularly known as withholding tax. So now let's start the section and let's see what all provisions are there in law with respect to this particular section.